Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile, and this is the Matrix Mini I-4, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank Apos Audio for providing the Matrix Mini I-4 for a review. Do greatly appreciate it. Apos Audio, you rock. Alright, so the Matrix Mini I-4, this will set you back $650 from your bank account. The Matrix Mini I-4 is a music streamer and DAC. It has all sorts of technology on the inside of it, so I recommend that you check out somewhere on the screen here the link for the Matrix Audio website and check out the i4's sheet, with all the specs and everything on it, just in case I don't mention something that you're curious about. Also, there'll be a link down in the description. All right, so the Matrix Mini i4, it has a quad Cortex A55 2 gigahertz CPU. The DAC chip is a Sabre ES9039Q2M, and it can do up to 24/768 DSD MQA Studio if you care about that. It will be Rune compatible shortly. Currently, it is under certification testing. It'll do Tidal Connect, Spotify Connect, and several other of those streaming capability connection things that they have. And then also you can connect it via USB and through Ethernet and coax and optical and HDMI ARC. But there is no Bluetooth or Wi-Fi capabilities. Also, there's no headphone output. There's only a RCA analog output and a XLR balanced output. So if you want Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and headphone amplifier and several other options, you would have to go with the Pro version, which I do not have and have not heard. So the Matrix Mini i4, this has a very cool touch screen on the front here, and you can select any of the options that you want. And then also you can change filters and go into several other different modes, which I won't get into. The screen does show a lot of information. If you're on streaming, it'll show you the metadata and the artwork of the music that you're listening to if it's available. And if you're on USB, you won't get that option. Let's turn the device off and show you more of the functions and what it looks like on the backside. So to do that, you just press the little power button, hold it down, and it'll start shutting down. All right, so the device itself, you have that big LCD screen here on the front, and then on the top you have a logo for Matrix, which lights up white when it is turned on, and then right here in the corner you have a very small power button. If you click the power button while it's turned on, it's going to mute or unmute your music. Holding it down will turn the device off or put it into standby mode. And then to turn it on, you just hit the button. On the sides, you have this cool little grooved look. And then on the back side, you have a bunch of inputs and outputs. Power, Ethernet, USB-C, USB-A, HDMI ARC, optical, and coax inputs. You also have RCA input, you have RCA output, and XLR output. As mentioned, no Wi-Fi and no Bluetooth capabilities. Also, no headphone output. This is a DAC only with streaming capabilities. So, the Matrix Mini i4, I mainly used it as a with USB, but I did use the streaming function also. And I found that between those two, I didn't hear any difference sonically. They sounded the same when I changed between them, and that's a good thing. All the other inputs I really didn't use. I didn't have a whole lot of things to connect with all those various other inputs. How does the Matrix Mini i4 sound? So the Matrix Mini i4 has a very a polite sound signature. It's a little bit on the soft side, and it's a little bit on the pleasurable, polite, soft, laid back presentation. So the base of the Mini I-4 is nicely detailed. It extends okay into sub bass, and it has good tone and timbre, but you're not going to get a whole lot of authority. It doesn't have a lot of punch and slam to it, but it will bring out the details. It's very detailed. It's nicely resolving. It has a natural tone and timbre to devices, instruments, and vocalists that reside in the bass's areas. But overall, it's just not a real authoritative bass. It'll keep the toes tapping and it'll give you enough of the impact and slam, but it doesn't really drive it home with authority and power. And then the mids. The mids have a presentation that is a little pushed forward. They get the spotlight. They are very engaging. They have a nice naturalism to them, and they have a little bit of a lushness. And overall, the mids take the focus. They're a little bit more noticed than the bass, and they have good tone and timbre. And just like the bass, they have very good details and resolution. And then the treble is slightly behind the mids, and it extends nicely, and kind of like the bass, it doesn't have a whole lot of authority. It gives you enough to keep energized and to bring out the naturalism, but at the same time, it doesn't have the bite, it doesn't have the edge, it doesn't have that crispness and that little bit of sizzle that you're looking for a true natural experience. Everything sounds proper and accurate, but you just kind of wish it had a little bit more. And so overall, the whole presentation is mid-focused and has a kind of a lushness to it and a soft politeness to it. The soundstage of the Mytek Mini I-4 is pretty good. It has nice width to it. It sounds very natural. It does a good job of portraying different sizes of venues, and it does a good job with depth, and it does a good job with layering. And overall, the imaging is nice. It tracks things across the stage, and you're not going to have any gaps or any spaces or jitters or stutters or anything like that. And I find that you can pick apart a stage decently, but it's not super specific. And then detail retrieval and resolution is good. It does have a little bit of soft roundedness to the notes, and they don't have an edge and a crispness to them, but overall you're not going to miss any details, and it does a good job with resolving them in a more polite way. And then tone and timbre is a little bit on the warmer side, a little bit more lush, laid back. How does the Mytek Mini I-4 compare to a couple of the DACs and amps that I have? Now, I don't have any other streamers in-house, but a DAC that is similar is the Aune S9C Pro. And the S9C Pro does have a headphone output, and it also does not have the streaming aspect of it, so depending on which you're looking for. And you can get the S9C Pro in Bluetooth. But the S9C Pro is not as warm sounding as the Mytek Mini, is more linear and cohesive and balanced in its presentation through the bass, the mids, and the treble. The S9C Pro has a little bit wider of a stage, a little bit deeper of a stage, and is a little bit more pinpoint and precise in its placement. Also, it is a little bit more detailed, a little bit better resolving, and is a little bit more natural in its tone and timbre. Overall, I found that the Aune S9C Pro was just a little bit better overall than the Mytek Mini I-4 as a DAC. And then the Mytek Liberty DAC 2. Now, the Mytek Liberty DAC 2 is about triple the cost of the Mini, so it's not really a fair comparison when it comes to price. Sound-wise, the Mytek Liberty DAC 2 is going to be more dry, a little bit more maybe possibly boring to some, or it could come across as a little bit bright and hot depending on your sensitivity to your ears. The Liberty DAC 2 definitely is more linear sounding, and also it is more analytical sounding and more neutral. It is better detailed, better resolving, and has more accurate tone and timbre. So the Mytek Mini I-4, I like the little device. It's something different, a little bit laid back, and if you're going to use it with just to listen to music and to just kind of relax at the end of the day, or to just enjoy while you're reading a book, or while you're just, sipping your coffee, trying to just chill, it does a good job. But if you want to nitpick and really pull apart a track and you get more analytical in your listening, the Matrix Mini I-4 isn't going to do that for you. It's not set up to be a reference sound. It's more of a chill, lay back, and here's your polite presentation in a non-fatiguing way. So I like the Matrix Mini I-4, but it's really not for me. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of the next video, somewhere on the screen is subscription links and notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video, and check out all the links down below. There's all kinds of information on there regarding how you can contact the channel, follow the channel, support the channel. All that kind of stuff is listed down below. Speaking of supporting the channel, I want to thank my supporters through Patreon and YouTube memberships for all that you give to the channel. Is much appreciated. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please note that all funds coming into the channel do go back into the channel. And also, there's all kinds of ways that you can support the channel. PayPal, Venmo for one-time gifts, or through Patreon and YouTube memberships for monthly subscriptions. Also, you can buy me a coffee. You can just send a gift. However you want to do it. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the links down below. It's much appreciated. While you're down there, also there's information like gear recommendations and music recommendations and all kinds of other things. So check out the links down below. And lastly, don't forget to enjoy the music and that honesty is the best policy.